Have a look at these 10 animal moments so unpredictable, so genuinely unscripted and funny that they helped turn The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson, into one of the most beloved programs in late-night television history. Let's count all 10 of them down. Number 10, the Slimy Frog.
Now here's an animal that's very well adapted for all of our weather lately.
That's a frog.
And these are Bell's horned frogs from South America.
Joan Embery brought a large, noticeably moist bullfrog onto the set, and Carson's reaction within the first 3 seconds of physical contact told the audience everything they needed to know.
Am I holding him right?
Just trying to keep them comfortable.
I must be.
And
Yours is making noise, mine isn't.
The texture destroyed him, and rather than recover, he held the frog at arm's length, looked directly into the camera with an expression of pure suffering, and asked on live national television for a frog towel.
you can't, but I wouldn't put your hands in your mouth after that.
Oh, the first thing I wanted to do was... Always when I pick up a slimy frog, I go right for my mouth. Jack, you have a wet towel or a frog towel or something? Cute.
That line became the running joke of the entire segment, and Embery let it run before pivoting into one of the more effective public health corrections the show ever delivered.
A poison on the skin. Now you're telling me that they have toxin poison on their skin while I've been fondling this beast here.
This is
Why
only...
don't you tell me these things before?
It's
Joan?
only absorbed through mucous membranes.
Shove him up my nose,
Right.
I would probably...
The persistent myth that frogs cause warts got dismantled right there, with Carson still holding a towel and Embery explaining the actual biological function of amphibian skin secretions to an audience that was still laughing.
Well, that's not likely to happen. I haven't shoved a frog up my nose since I was maybe, nigh on 6, 7 years old.
I find this segment fascinating not for the comedy, but for the structure, a health correction delivered through situational humor, reaching an audience that no dedicated science program could have touched. Number 9, the Indian Condor.
In front of you. Wait a minute now, look. You got to hold it higher than your head. That's right.
Jim Fowler's approach to these segments differed from Embery's in one fundamental way, and the Condor appearance shows that difference clearly. Where Embery placed animals directly onto Carson and let tactile discomfort do the comedic work, Fowler operated on scale and ecological context, and the Condor delivered on both immediately.
Ed, you want to sit on that?
The wingspan alone stopped conversation the moment the bird spread its wings under the studio's high-intensity lights, and the Tonight Show set, built entirely for human guests, had no practical answer for it.
Right.
Carson and the production crew went ducking for cover every time the Condor shifted its weight toward flight, and Fowler, calm throughout, kept explaining the bird's role as a scavenging species and the specific threats it faced from habitat loss and lead contamination.
Now I'm going to try something that...
The comedy came from the crew's scrambling. The education came from Fowler. Carson's job for most of that segment was simply staying out of the wingspan. Number 8, the Snow Leopard's complete indifference.
This one you might sit down for because...
Now, I notice you have that in a locked cage.
It's a snow leopard.
Here's a take that most people won't agree with, but the evidence supports it. The Snow Leopard segment is funnier than the Baby Tiger segment, and the reason is that nothing happens.
You want to set him on my desk, don't you?
Here. If you don't mind my getting in front of you there.
Not a bit.
Jim Fowler brought out a snow leopard with thick camouflaged fur and the complete physical stillness of an apex predator who found the studio environment entirely unremarkable. And Carson tried to engage it.
Look at that face on that animal.
A cat like this never makes a good pet. They're so instinctive.
The leopard's response was zero. Not aggression, not curiosity, just the kind of high-status indifference that no amount of television experience prepares you for.
There you go. See, Johnny?
And they growl, don't they?
Carson had interviewed presidents, managed 30 years of live television, and handled hecklers without breaking composure. And this animal looked at him the way you look at a piece of furniture. His self-deprecating commentary, delivered to a cat that wasn't listening, produced some of the finest deadpan work of his entire career.
There you go. It's very good.
Fowler noted the snow leopard's endangered status and its severely fragmented habitat, but the lasting image from that segment isn't conservation messaging. It's Johnny Carson being comprehensively ignored by a cat and finding it funnier than he wanted to admit. Number 7. The Tarantula.
Would you like to take it out?
Pick it up, Johnny!
Oh, wonderful. There's a brave man up there. Let's have him come down. Why don't you come down and get him?
Carson's discomfort with small, fast-moving creatures was well established before Joan Embery placed a tarantula on his hand. And that history is what gave the segment its tension.
There you go.
What followed was 90 seconds of controlled composure falling apart in slow motion, with Carson's face making decisions his body loudly disagreed with in real time.
I think I'm going to cry. What is that animal doing on my wrist?
We're demonstrating how it moves, but...
I know how it moves. What?
And Embery standing beside him, perfectly calm, using every second of his discomfort to challenge one of the most widespread phobias in the country.
They're not as poisonous as most people think.
How poisonous are they?
Well,
What is he doing there? Preparing to strike?
if you don't anger them, normally...
Don't anger them. What, am I going to say you're ugly or something like that?
Arachnophobia affects roughly 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men in the United States, and Embery chose to address it not through statistics or lectures, but through the most trusted face in late-night television, visibly suffering through the proof that tarantulas are docile and pose minimal threat to humans.
How do you get a tarantula angry?
Well, by blowing on it.
I'm not going to blow on you.
I used to think this segment was a cheap watch the host squirm bit, but that reading misses the point entirely.
He's a good-looking tarantula. Fine-looking tarantula. Real nice. No, I'm not going to blow on you. Maybe I'm talking wrong.
Carson's discomfort was real, which made Embery's calm rebuttal credible in a way that no scripted demonstration could have matched.
It likes
He's backing up.
Likes you.
Why didn't he walk up? He's going up my arm.
Number 6, the cheetahs who were not fans.
Yeah.
I remember holding one of those on the show.
We'll see what we'll do. We
Oh,
held
don't, you don't have to
all
get them
of
out. No, really. No, not if they're comfortable. Don't.
Joan Embery brought 2 cheetahs onto the set, and unlike every other guest in the show's history, those cheetahs were not there to make Johnny look good.
These are 2 males, and unfortunately our female was stolen.
Why on earth would somebody?
Cheetahs are built differently from other big cats, their anatomy optimized for speed rather than strength.
The lid on the cheetah. Put the lid on.
Their behavioral patterns in captivity distinct from lions or leopards. And what Embery walked out with were animals whose instincts couldn't be adjusted for the sake of a television segment. They were visibly disinterested in Carson throughout, and at moments something closer to irritated by his presence. And that's when Carson turned in one of the better performances of any animal segment he ever did.
Okay,
They're speaking to you right now.
just relax.
They...
His self-deprecating material about his own lack of animal magnetism only works because it was true, and the audience knew it was true, and that shared acknowledgement of reality between host and viewers is where the genuine laughter came from.
Don't bring them back again. Because they're going to get bigger than this, aren't they?
Right, they'll be going
eat
back
my
to...
face next time.
The joke wasn't that the cheetahs were mean. The joke was that they were right. Number 5, the Singing Dog Contest, 1987. Most people treat this segment as a cute novelty, but it's actually the sharpest piece of audience psychology the show ever pulled off, and here's why. In 1987, The Tonight Show invited regular audience members to bring their own pet dogs and compete in a nationally televised singing contest. And these weren't professionally trained animals with coaches and routines. These were family pets whose owners had decided with complete conviction that their dog possessed genuine musical ability. Carson, who had been hosting since October 1962, understood something the audience didn't catch in the moment. The comedy wasn't the howling. What nobody expected was how perfectly the owner's dead serious expressions would carry the whole thing.
Now please sing for me, okay? Let's see. Ruben, here. You ready for the big finish? Come on. Come on, stand up. Come on.
Carson played musical critic with a straight face throughout, giving every performance the dignity of a real critique, and that contrast between earnest owner, baffled dog, and mock solemn host generated more laughs than any scripted bit could have.
Don't start my new year like this. Let's...
The singing itself was behavioral conditioning, specific auditory triggers the owners used to prompt the sounds, but Carson let the science go unspoken and just let the absurdity breathe. Number 4, the Harness Shrew.
That is a shrew?
A shrew.
A shrew.
This is a elephant shrew. See the trunk or the nose?
Yeah.
I'll be direct. The Shrew segment is the most underrated animal moment across the show's entire 30-year run, and almost nobody talks about it. Joan Embery, who served as the official goodwill ambassador for the San Diego Zoo, brought in a shrew fitted with a custom-made miniature harness, because without physical restraint, the creature couldn't be handled at all.
This territory is already taken, isn't it? How about Ed's pocket? Yeah.
Shrews carry one of the highest metabolic rates of any mammal on Earth, which meant Embery had to ensure a food supply was available immediately before and after the segment, just to prevent the animal from going into physical shock from the stress of the studio environment. Carson knew none of that going in, and that's exactly why his reaction landed.
You have on him here. Is that a leash? You don't walk this thing, do you? You got a leash here.
Well, we devise all types of things. This actually, yes it is. It's a little harness.
You walk
and
your
it was,
shrew.
It was designed for a parakeet, but it works quite well for the shrew.
He pounced on the taming of the shrew wordplay right away, but the real turn came when Embery mentioned almost casually that this creature the size of a thumb routinely takes down prey larger than itself. Carson's expression shifted from performance into something that looked a lot closer to genuine alarm, and the audience felt every second of that shift. Number 3, the two-headed snake, August 1991.
And you know,
That is the strangest thing I've ever seen.
its name is Thelma and Louise.
It has 2 heads, 2 eyes on each head.
Joan Embery introduced a two-headed snake to The Tonight Show in August 1991, less than a year before Carson's final episode aired in May 1992, and it stands as one of the strangest and most underappreciated segments of the entire run.
Hold her.
It's not poisonous, is it?
No. They use their tongues for smelling, and some people think, well, that's dangerous. No, they're just smelling. They use their teeth for capturing their prey.
Polycephaly in reptiles is extraordinarily rare in the wild, with each head carrying its own instincts and operating independently, which meant the snake's two heads were frequently pulling in opposite directions simultaneously, and the result was a kind of living biological slapstick that no writer could have constructed.
The twinning process didn't completely separate two animals, so it has two heads but one body.
Carson's reaction split visibly between genuine intellectual fascination and physical discomfort, and Embery used that split to deliver a lesson on genetics and environmental adaptation without ever losing the comedic momentum of the segment.
But only one of the head eats?
Only one tends to eat. The other one has eaten occasionally, but generally the right head is dominant.
What could have stayed at the level of weird animal television became something more grounded. And that transformation from novelty into education was Embery's signature move across every segment she brought to that stage. Number 2, the baby orangutan's embrace. Every other moment on this list draws its energy from chaos, friction, or physical discomfort. And this one draws from none of those things, which is exactly why it lands harder than all of them combined. A baby orangutan during a live segment reached out and embraced Johnny Carson, and that was the moment. No punchline attached, no comedic escalation waiting behind it. Carson had spent 30 years refining the art of the quick comeback, and the embrace left him with nothing to reach for.
There's a face and a half up. This is...
Very active for his age, actually. For an orangutan, you figure 2.5 months.
Looks like he's stoned right now.
The show's comedic structure dissolving completely as he sat there, visibly moved by a gesture he hadn't prepared for.
Oliver's a barrel of laughs here.
Young primates depend on physical contact for security and neurological development, and that orangutan wasn't performing for the cameras. The reach was biological, the animal doing exactly what its nature required, and Carson receiving it the only way a person honestly could. What that moment did for primate conservation awareness wasn't achieved through any speech or statistic. 30 seconds of stillness on a show watched by millions said more than a documentary hour could have. Number 1, the baby tiger jump. Across 30 years and thousands of episodes, one clip became the defining image of what the animal segments were actually about, and it runs for under 2 seconds. A baby tiger made a sudden movement toward Carson, doing nothing more than classic play-stalking behavior, completely normal for a young feline, and Carson launched himself at the couch towards Doc Severinsen. The audience response was instantaneous and total. Here's what I think most people miss about this clip is the thing it proved about every animal segment across the entire 30-year run. All the preparation, all the experience, all the decades of live television, and one small tiger erased it in half a second flat.
Okay, yes. Yes.
The natural world doesn't negotiate with your composure. Carson understood that better than anyone who ever hosted a television program, and the tiger jump is the moment that proves it, because his understanding didn't save him, and his willingness to be caught midair by his sidekick on camera in front of the whole country is the most honest thing he ever did on that stage. From 1962 to 1992, Joan, Embery, and Jim Fowler walked onto that stage with animals that couldn't be scripted, directed, or reliably controlled. And Carson met all of them with genuine curiosity and the willingness to look completely unprepared on national television. That combination, institutional expertise paired with unscripted nature, paired with a host who never pretended to be in control when he wasn't, built something that 30 years of polished wildlife programming since has never quite replicated. These 12 moments aren't just funny clips pulled from an archive. They're evidence of what happens when entertainment stops protecting itself and just lets the natural world walk through the door. Hit that like button and subscribe, because there's a lot more television history where this came from, and we'll see you in the next one.